Hello, everyone. I'm Eric Cox. I'm a member of the Netcapital team. Let's allow one moment for everybody to settle in. Thanks. All righty, let's go ahead and dive in. Thanks again for joining. Today we will have Mike with Hubsai. I appreciate all the attendees for joining in. We look forward to sharing about this exciting investment opportunity. As always, Hubsai is actively raising capital on the Netcapital platform. I just added a link to the chat, or you can go directly to netcapital.com and search Hubsai, or you can go to netcapital.com/companies/Hubsai. A few housekeeping items. Please do use the Q&A functionality built into Zoom. I know that there's a chat function as well, but Q&A really is so much easier for us to track the questions as they come in and make sure that we get to as many of them as possible. We really want to keep this as engaging as possible, so please do use that Q&A functionality. It's great to see the participants coming in, and would love to have that early and often. That concludes the housekeeping. With that being said, please help me welcome in Mike with Hubsai. Come on in, Mike.
Hello, Eric. This is Mike Ghodoosian, by the way.
Yep. So, Mike, why don't you tell us a little bit about Hubsai?
Well, we are a Silicon Valley startup, and basically we came into, I'll be honest with you, I was one of the early adopters of smart home automation, and I started to see there are issues. There are major issues. People do different apps, different smart home devices. And I figured there is a great opportunity to simplify smart home automation. And also, one other thing what really bothered me was all these big companies, Amazon, Facebook, Google, they invade your privacy without you knowing it. And I'm a big proponent of protecting the privacy of individuals. So I really wanted to do this and put a great product out there for smart home and smart building automation. So we started a company. We've been very, very lucky to have gotten at the early stages of smart home automation.
Absolutely. I am a sucker for the smart home. I probably have far too many devices connected. I also had to upgrade my internet 2 or 3 times during the pandemic to make sure I can account for it all. So why don't you, before we go into the problem and solution in detail, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and the rest of the team, Boris and the rest of them?
We have a really amazing team. We have a collection of, spectacular individuals, I would like to say, that they're across, I would say a crossover between our advisory board and our employees. We have a phenomenal formula. One of the individuals, he's a former CEO of a Fortune 50 company with over 1,000 patents in the area of telecom, world-renowned. We have another person who is the recipient of the MIT AI Award. We have a gentleman that has just joined us. He is the head of sales and has been to 2 startups before, has taken them from 0 to 100 million twice for 2 different companies. Remarkable person. We have another individual who is in the field of construction and multifamily homes, 30 years of experience, also a former GE scientist. So brings a lot of stuff to us for radio frequency, RF related signals that go around the house. And basically, all in all, we have an unmatched developer team that complements all of this. where they are so aware of the latest technologies. And to close that, I would say we focus 100% on data privacy. We're just not about security. We're about protecting your privacy, 100% data privacy.
And I think that's critically important right now. And it does seem like customers are actively seeking out that type of protection. So I understand the privacy is a huge part of the problem. What does the rest of the problem look like, and how is Hubsai that solution?
Yeah, I mean, that's a great question. So, our platform it makes smart home automation very simple. If you take a look at our tagline, we say, smart homes simplified. So there are a lot of smart home solutions out there. There are a lot of things that confuse people. And if you take a look at our app is available both on Google Play and Apple App Store. And when you download it and take a look at it, everything is there. And you see your whole house on one screen. It's so easy to use. So ease of use is a very important part of our platform. And one other thing is, if you have one or more properties, you can use the same app. So if you have a home, if you have a business, if you have a vacation home, you can manipulate or go through all of it through the same app from Hubsai.
Absolutely. That's great, especially for multi-property owners. For those who aren't familiar, how large is the smart home market, and how are the projections for growth?
Okay, that's another good question, Eric. In the U.S., the number of households, there are about 139 million homes in the U.S. And I would say, if you take a look at the penetration for smart homes in the United States, it's about 42.2 million smart homes, according to Statistica. You can see there's a small penetration, but this penetration is going to change for the smart home. There's a prediction that by 2030, 69% of all the homes in the US will be smart homes. And what constitutes a smart home is if you're using one or more smart home devices in your house. And the other thing is not just having a smart home device, but being able to automate a lot of things. When you come home, your house is warm and in cold weather. If you get up, in the morning, all the lights turn on when you get out of your bed. We're going to see a lot more sensors coming in. But back to the size of the market, the prediction is that from Statistica again, that by 2023, the size of the market will be 141 billion. All in all, it's a very, very large market.
That really is. And I think what's really interesting about Hubsai is how it fits in between that kind of full service security monitoring side, and then the do-it-yourself smart home vendors. I think you defined it as do it for me. Can you talk a little bit about that niche?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that is going on in the smart home automation market is the poor homeowners. Let me just say that if you're a technical person, it's great to be able to have a smart home. But what if you're an everyday guy, right? An everyday person needs to be able to, maneuver around their house comfortably, being able to, talk to the devices, be able to really have a very enjoyable and productive life. So I think when we say do it for me, is because when you put it together, people get a little overwhelmed about how they have to put the smart home together, number one. And number two is, being able to bring all of those devices together. People have questions. I mean, let's face it, you put in a thermostat, maybe the homeowner doesn't know all the functions on the thermostat, and they have questions. They want some help. So it's not just giving it to somebody who can do it, do it yourself. They all DIY, do it. And the other thing is, we just want the homeowner to be comfortable. We want them to be on board. This is something that's going to be fantastic.
I think that's really important. I think you're obviously a technologist. I fancy myself as sort of a technologist. Although I'll kind of date myself. My last programming language was C++, so I'm definitely not quite the technologist that you are, Mike, with all full disclosure. But I think that's right, that there's quite a bit of support that's required, and if you don't have those technical skills, there, you could be wanting for that smart home experience and not know quite how to get there. And with that type of a large market, let's talk about some of the players in the market. What does the competitive landscape look like, and how do you differentiate yourself within that landscape?
Okay, that's a good question. With regards to the people who are bringing the smart home to you, a lot of them are manufacturers of hardware devices. What's unique about Hubsai is we do not manufacture any smart home devices. You just need our hub, and we pick the best of brands for you that you can use. So we give the homeowner a real good choice of top brands. And so that's one very key important area. So if you take a look at Nest from Google, you have to buy their devices, and if you want to use something else, you can't. You're tied in. And if you take a look at Amazon purchased this company called Blink for cameras. They got Ring. They got all different kinds of issues. There's been data breaches. There's been hacking. The poor homeowner is totally freaking out. They will be apprehensive. Think about it. Adoption has to happen quickly. Companies like Hubsai are going to make all the difference in the world. Think about the household, the housewife. They are worried about having a camera in the home. They don't know what's going to happen. They don't want to know. They're all apprehensive. And worst of all is this, smart speaker technology. Some people have this Alexa thing at home. It's listening all the time. You should be scared to death on this thing. Okay, I mean, just forget about Alexa. Alexa, take a look at Google Home. Who wants to be listened to? You feel like, you have to worry about these things. And so at the end of the day, these large players not only bombard you with their hardware, but also they violate your data privacy. And that is so critical. I am very passionate about that. And the last part of it is bringing AI to the home. Being able to walk into your home and say, open the garage door that only knows your voice. If my friend is with me and it talks and says, open the door, and it doesn't open it, that is called artificial intelligence, because that's a voice signature. That's the difference of AI. AI is going to change the world. There are going to be so many sensors. Today you have 1 or 2, maybe 5 smart home devices. In the future, you're going to have so many sensors around your house. Life is going to be beautiful.
Oh man, that sounds like the good life. You got me excited, Mike. I'm ready.
Okay.
So tell me, so if you're not the OEM, you're not actually manufacturing these products, do you tie into these legacy components, or are you only working with a specific group of providers that are known for cybersecurity? How do you ensure that security? Yeah.
The security comes from Hubsai, the Hubsai solution. But these vendors that make these products, you have to remember, they change the revisions of the software. You're going to have to worry about updating. You buy a product in the smart home space, if you bought it 2 years ago, it's obsolete. If you bought a Philips Hue hub, you have to constantly update the revisions on your hub. Who wants to keep track of that? Hubsai will take care of all of that for you.
No, that really is important. I feel like even if the attendees weren't on here, and I'm so glad they are, and please continue to ask these questions. I appreciate how engaging this is. But even if the attendees weren't here, I feel like this is just for me, because I think I changed my Wi-Fi 2-3 weeks ago, and there's like 30% of my smart home doesn't work right now. So
yeah, and Eric, let me just say this to you, and I really mean this. A lot of people don't know how hackable Wi-Fi is, how terrible Wi-Fi can be. A lot of times you have different devices in your home. They don't reach, the signal doesn't reach. We are experts. We have taught some of the best scientists in the world in our company. These people know how these signals work, how these signals travel. Why don't they travel? You got to understand that. It's not knowing one technology. It's not just knowing the camera and the video stream. It's also being able to get that signal out to your garage door from the third floor, the second floor. There are a lot of important issues there, but we've solved them all.
No, that's critically important, and looks like we're actually getting some questions to flash over. You mentioned, you kind of, I think, sped through a bunch of the team members, and you just mentioned some of the science support. Can we talk about some of those advisors and investors that are supporting this development? Like, can you tell us a little bit about Nicolas and some of the others that are really guiding the project here?
Yeah, Nikolai, he is one of the most amazing scientists in the world in the area of AI, world renowned. He's responsible for a lot of the work that has been done on the autonomous car. He knows a lot about AI, and I want you to know, AI is so humbling. If you think rocket science was hard, let me say AI is exponentially harder than rocket science. So Nicholas is just an amazing individual. And then I hope I answered that question with regards to him, but there are other ones. I mean, like Dr. Eslambolci, I mean, he has over 1,100 patents. He's the former CEO of AT&T, AT&T Labs. And, 10,000 people in that arsenal working in all the homes. He knows so much about physics, about signals, about AI. He was part of the technical team, technical advisory team for Facebook. I mean, his resume is so long, you can go look him up. He has like over 300,000 people that are his followers just on, the LinkedIn. So he's one of them. I mean, take a look at our head of sales. I mean, Boris, he's amazing. He's taken two companies in high tech from $0 to $100 million. And it just doesn't come being just a regular salesman. The guy must be absolutely super intelligent. We have others. I mean, I can continue, but our development team is unbelievable. We have a couple of people in the area of mobile technology. Think about what we have done in the area of mobile technology. If you have not seen our latest press release, it was in January. We provided a solution for the Apple Watch 6. I mean, go look at that video. It's a 30-second video. It will blow your mind.
And I think it's worth talking about the rest of them, because like this is a phenomenal advisory board team. So let's take a couple more minutes and flesh this out. Can you talk us about Alan and the other two members of the advisory board as well?
Okay, Alan. So Alan King is another phenomenal individual. He is a CEO of a software company. He has been tremendous in guiding us towards the software development that we have. One very interesting thing that I'm extremely proud of, we've written all of our code from line one in our own company by our own people. So that's a significant difference. And so we have questions with regards to IP. We have questions about software testing, QA. He has been tremendous. Of course, he still pushes us towards the, sales part of it. But that's what his role is, to help guide us. Mr. Farzaneh, he is CEO of two companies in the area of IoT, both hardware related to the smart home and also wearables. So when it comes to IoT devices, I mean, there's going to be over 200-300 billion devices in the next 10 years to come, IoT wise. I mean, he has so much knowledge. Think about all the software updates that have to happen. We got an amazing team.
I know there's one more. We couldn't leave that out. I think there's one more team member that I wanted to cover. I think it was Mr. Janatpour. Is that right?
Mr. Janatpour. That is the gentleman I was telling you about. So when I mentioned he's been in the area of construction for many, 30 years. He's a former GE scientist. He knows a lot about multifamily homes, a ton. So the multifamily home business is just at the beginning. Think about this. Just really think about this. These property managers how easy their job will be when they don't have to rekey the smart lock. Think about the ability to look at the building and not to worry about the damage in the building, not to worry about water leak detection. I mean, water leak damage. I mean, if I don't know if you've ever experienced this horrible thing, but water leaks tend to accumulate over time. And when they accumulate and start to damage your property, let me say it's quite expensive, unabsorbable. I mean, it's just mentally, you can't even put your, wrap your head around it. How could I be spending $60,000 on my home that I bought 2 years ago and I had a water leak? It happens. But if you have smart home automation, if you have a water leak detector that's in a Hubsai platform, you'll be notified way before it becomes a damage.
Yeah, critically important. And I see the questions coming in about future projects and future developments, but I'm going to hold on to those for just a moment so we can cover kind of the business model and progress to date. But I promise we will get there. So thanks for those questions. With regards to business model, how does Hubsai make money?
Okay. So the way we make money is we figure something really smart and intelligent about how to go to market. You see, the way we take away the concern of the market is we bring a starter kit package. Let's just say you've heard about smart homes, you've never done it, you want to get your toes wet. We provide a starter kit package. It will be available through retail, some of the major retailers in the country. And you buy this package, you take it home. It's got a lock, it's got a couple of cameras, it's got 4 lights, it's got the Hubsai hub, you hook it up. Now you got started. Now later you want to add other things. So basically it's your entry, but the entry has to be simple for people. So we provide, that's our basic solution. We provide a package for people who want to just easily get in. Some other people who are a little bit more familiar, we have a different package. We have a smart home that is a basic package. It includes, camera, lights, lock, garage door, and thermostat. Boom. You get that, and it's a basic home package that you have. You have multiple properties, we have different packages. So we sell these different packages and that people can buy and get started. Then we charge a subscription fee. The subscription fee is how our company is going to make money. And that's why it's such an amazing investment.
Yeah, no, very important that the hardware and getting into the home is really just kind of the first piece of the puzzle. But that monthly recurring revenue from the SaaS model, that's really where the investment makes things really
Remember, you don't have to worry about revision levels on your product in the house. The Hubsai software controls all that for you. You don't have to worry. We give you a peace of mind.
And I want to talk about sales channels in a moment and dig a little deeper on that. But before I do that, I do want to remind our attendees, first of all, panel participants, thank you so much for coming. Do remember that, as always, this company is actively raising on Netcapital. It's about the halfway mark, is where I'd like to remind people. You can go to netcapital.com and search Hubsai and invest right there, or you can click the link that I added to chat. That is netcapital.com/companies/Hubsai. But circling back for a moment here, I see there are about 3 distinct sales channels. Can we flesh that out a little bit more?
Yeah. So the area that we are going to scale in a very big way is going to be through the builders, right? People build homes. Believe it or not, there are a few thousand builders in the United States. And if you get in early with the builders, you get to have a uniform distribution of a smart home, just like the way we do our starter kit. You go see a model home at a development that you want to buy a house at, and you get a certain selection. So to get in with the builder at the right time is a very important thing. So our focus are the builders. Our focus is also the multifamily homes. So those are 2 very, very important areas that we focus on. The other area is the reseller market. The reseller combined with the installation that goes in and takes care of everything. And those are the 2 very key areas. And then on top of that, we have direct sales to small and medium businesses. And so those are the 3 big channels.
How does the progress look so far for these channels? I know you're already in the App Store. You have some installations already. Let's talk about some of the specifics, and if we could break those down between the consumer, the multifamily property owner, and the small and medium-sized business, that'd be great.
Well, we have, I mean, if you go to the App Store, you'll see some great remarks about our product. There are people who have put some interesting review. I mean, there is one small to medium, well, one business owner that thanked us 3 times in the last few months. There was a car stolen in front of his property. It was recorded on camera. There was an issue with security. He was able, so what happened is he subscribes to one of these alarm companies that monitors. We don't monitor, they monitor. They called him, it's in Berkeley, California. They called him at 2:30 in the morning and said, hey, you know, we're gonna have to make a call. There's an alarm, the alarm went off and everything. You know what he did? He picked up the Hubsai app. This is no joke. He picked up the Hubsai app, took a look at the cameras inside his property, his business, and he saw there was nothing wrong. He looked at the motion sensors. There was no motion for alerts. So there was no notification that somebody broke in or anything. And he told them, it's okay. You don't have to go out to the property. And the reason he did that is because of Hubsai. He saved himself about $200 for that call, because if they went to his property and they were checking on this alarm, they charged $200 to go visit his property. So that's another one, but it's the same business owner, right? I mean, I'm telling you, there's nothing more rewarding when people thank you for what you've done. We have multifamily homeowners that, you know, we have water leak detectors in there. You have no idea how grateful they are that this is a reliable solution. They're able to see things, and thank God. I mean, they can go on a trip and not worry too much about something. They can go and be away abroad. I mean, you really want to have a peace of mind. We bring that peace of mind to people. It's a big difference.
That really is a big difference. And then when we talk about the breakdown between consumers, multi-property owners, that's a lot to say, excuse me, and SMBs, what does the breakdown look like roughly in percentages?
Well, percentages today or percentages in the future? You're talking about today? Well, we're at the beginning. We're just
maybe
at the
both.
Well, okay. We're at the beginning of this huge market, Eric. This market is so big. I mean, we're going to be hopefully a big unicorn out there. I mean, there's so much that's changing, but the mix is changing. The people behavior is changing. You know, people are excited to be able to get to have a smart home. There will be more sensors coming. You'll have a sensor under your sink. You'll have a sensor in your pipe. Your pipes won't freeze anymore. I mean, and all of these will be controlled through smart home automation. You'll be able to program things. So the breakdown today, I would say most of them, I would say 30% is probably with multifamily homes. And I would say another 30% is with a small to medium business, and the remainder is direct sales and channels.
Yeah, quite even split. And do you foresee that being the split in the future, or do you think it's probably going to?
No, I do not. I do not. I think that what's going to happen is there'll be an amazing success curve for Hubsai, and you'll see all of a sudden, like there are companies out there like Greystar. They have 713,000 properties or homes, condos, if you may. And think about it. They are very interested to put in smart home technology. And, you know, a small company like Hubsai has to grow very quickly to be able to support the rolling out of these properties. They come and tell you, hey, we want to put 1,000 homes today. You got to bring more people on. You need more investment. So I would say the multifamily homes and the builder is probably going to be skyrocketing. And the consumer will have the peace of mind being able to go to the reseller, pick up a starter kit and go home, and we will be able to help them remotely get completely comfortable in their smart home.
that's really exciting. I think I could see that trajectory as well. And with regards to the traction today, and we are working our way to the future. Don't you worry, attendees. Traction today, I see you're projecting or targeting 1,000 installs by the end of Q2 this year. Is that still about the timeline that you're seeing?
Yeah. I think we're going to actually blow the numbers, out the door by the end of the year. We'll probably be over 5,000. That is our forecast. We got one amazing person who's heading our sales. I think he is remarkable. I mean, remember, he's taken 2 startup companies before from 0 to $100 million. I mean, we got some amazing talent on our team.
Yeah, that's critically important. That's why I really wanted to spend quite a bit of time on that. The team, as I like to say. So transitioning over, and thanks for your patience to all the attendees. Let's start thinking about the future of AI, the future of this automation and smart home. So what are your plans for using AI for the smart home and smart building automation down the line?
I think what we're going to see is a major conversion in the United States with regards to solar-based homes. We're going to see a very big migration towards drones and garage delivery systems. One of our big AI plans is we are going to have an unbelievable offering for smart home garage delivery. You won't have your packages stolen on your porch anymore. Everything will be secure, and it will be done with the use of AI. And Amazon is not the only game in town. We will actually be better than them. So those are 2 big areas that I see. I see one area that will be probably exploding in the next 10 years, and you're going to see Hubsai at the forefront of this. That is the aging population, the elderly. Give you some examples of what's going to happen. The government is going to subsidize more the baby boomers like myself to get old at home. And so they would give you probably tax benefits, some other benefits. And what's going to happen is you're going to have to be able to do all of that at your home. And let's just say you'll have a pill dispenser that will be hooked up. You'll be able to monitor it. You'll be able to do triage for your medical purposes with your physician, with the people who check in. You'll be able to wake up from your bed, and it will know that you just woke up. It will turn on the lights in your house or in that room so that you don't fall down from the bed. So you're going to have a lot more sensors to come. You're going to have sensors in your, in your kitchen, where you would know what kind of foods you'll have it in your fridge. You'll have it in your washer and dryer. I mean, you won't believe that. I mean, I know that this may be so early for some of the people who've never seen these things, but they were going to see them. There's a revolution coming, a revolution where you're going to see sensors all over your place. This is unbelievable technology.
I think that is a really interesting. I had never really thought about the aging population and how it would relate to in-home care and smart sensors. I think it was a very interesting narrative. I think that makes a bunch of sense. Do you see a place in the future of home automation for childcare and youth as well? Do you think there's something there?
It's already there. So you can use Hubsai for that purpose today. But when I was talking about aging population, we're partnering with some very key companies that are in the area of like autistic children or the aging, the elderly. There will be some major announcements that Hubsai is going to make, major announcements in that area. But remember, we're going to have strategic. I mean, this is going to be an unbelievable company.
No, that's really exciting. Please continue. Last couple of comments here as they come in. Please continue to use that Q&A functionality, and we'll continue to answer these questions as they come in. With the app, you mentioned that one of the real advantages is kind of the user experience. Can you talk a little bit more about how your UX UI really makes the ease of use and how that really will probably support that future of like the aging population, be able to really engage with Hubsai better. Can you talk about that user experience?
Right. I can definitely share that with you. So we have a feature on our app that allows you to see the history of the devices in your home, only available to you. It's not put in the cloud. It's not in the public cloud. It's only for you. You'll be able to see what time your kids came home, the garage door opened. You'll be able to know what time the lights turned on and off. You'll be able to look at your utility bills and say, hey, utilities are becoming so expensive. How can I save money? So that history thing that we provide the homeowner in our app is absolutely unbelievable. Okay, that's one. The other thing is you're able to program these in a very simple way. If you download our apps is free. You get a free license to test it out. You can go to our sales demo and be able to program these devices. It's fun. It's easy. You just pick the device. You basically say, hey, I want this device on at this time, off at this time. So that's one. The other area that is really fantastic is notifications. You get notified. Let's just say that you have a door and window sensor in your house. Somebody opens and closes the door, it's open or closed. How many times do you worry about that? So there's a notification system in our app. There is also a way to go to the devices themselves. And the one other thing is there are different variations of how you can look at it. You can add rooms if you want. You can add devices, but everything is available to the homeowner or the smart building owner.
Yeah, and I see you already have the smartwatch application built out already too. So that's a pretty premium. That's a pretty premium upgrade. Not a lot of companies have gotten that far yet.
Yes. I mean, we are the first. I mean, if you take a look at our announcement, we are the first company to provide an AI solution for the smart home application last January.
Yeah,
a month ago.
That's awesome. Very, very cool, Mike. Very, very cool. And so you mentioned that security is obviously that was sound like what you were most passionate about, and that is such a critically important part of Hubsai. Can you talk about how the way that you've developed it is more secure than other options out there right now?
Oh, sure. So we use the latest technology. We use a lot of encryption in almost everything we do, and our encryption is commercial grade and more. So meaning that if something was really hard to break into, think about it, it's double as hard to get into. In being in high tech, you can never say something is not hackable. It's a question of time. But we have a joke internally among our development team. We say, listen, we'll put up a prize if somebody can break into Hubsai at these hackathons. And they wouldn't be able to. It will probably take you 2 years to break into it, right? And we don't want to promote this because we don't want the hackers to have their antennas go up. But being truthful is what we put in for encryption is going to help us, and also the way our devices connect. The way our devices connect to the Hubsai hub has special mechanism that is we have also applied for a patent, but you know how patents take about 18 months. But all in all, we have a special way to do this.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. And then, and I think you have a team member that specifically, I know you mentioned, has tons of patent experience. So that should serve you well as you work through the application process. So I always like to kind of bring it home, in a pretty traditional way. Take some time, and I'm going to remind everybody that they can go to netcapital.com and search Hubsai and invest. But before we direct people there, tell us why this is such a unique situation and why this is such a great opportunity, and the listeners should go and invest right now.
Well, I think right now, if you take a look at the valuation of companies and you've seen what's happened in the market, you think about the size of the market and the need, the pain points that are there in the market today. Think about how you can save on, preventing having water damage at your house. Think about how much easier you'd have a peace of mind when you travel, when you're able to know what's happening around your house. You're able to see your grandparents or parents, how they function in the house. Being able to know about your kids, know about the devices that are connected to in your house. It really is a way of the future. And frankly, you don't have to be a geek or a super duper technologist to have a smart home. You can be an everyday guy and enjoy having a smart home. And I would say there are more reasons to have a smart home than I can even list here. But there are many applications. You get locked out of your house. You want to be able to, if you're a multifamily homeowner, you want to be able to know what's happening with your properties, with your tenants, all different reasons. So this is a huge market. It's the way of the future. The way we live is going to change. Our productivity has already changed, unfortunately, because of the pandemic. But you're going to see a lot more lifestyle changes. The millennials, they are going to be, living in these little small units, and they're going to be so efficient, but they have everything available to them because of the smart home technology that's coming. Smart home technology automation.
I was going to end there, but I'm going to let one question creep in at the last minute. So we're going to allow this through. On your pitch deck, you had an association between Hubsai and major internet service providers. Can you talk a little bit about the developments there and how you view working with the major ISP really amplifies the Hubsai offering?
Okay, here is where some special technology comes in. We have developed a technology that we are not dependent on the ISP. So, we go in, you put the hub in your house and it connects. It doesn't matter if it's from AT&T, if it's from Comcast, if it's from Spectrum, if it's from, other companies, Wave, it doesn't matter. It works with all of them. So this need for an ISP is passé, I would say. But we wrote our own software to do that.
Very cool. I think that covered that well. Well, thank you so much for all the participants for coming in and asking those thoughtful questions. I really appreciate how engaging and interactive that was. As always, Mike, thank you so much for coming. And I'd like to thank the rest of the Hubsai team as well. I know there's a lot of people behind the scenes helping bring this to fruition. So I'd like to thank them at this point, and Boris and the rest of the team as well. As always, this has been recorded. It will be uploaded to the Netcapital YouTube link. And I added a link to that in the chat as well, so you can click that and share that liberally. But with all that being said, thank you so much for everybody for coming, and thanks to you, Mike, for sharing with us about Hubsai.
Thank you for having me, Eric.
It was a pleasure. All right, take care, everyone.